Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Albion TV. It's Saturday night. My name's Lewpac and I'm joined by Shozen and Bogul, and that can mean only one thing. It's time for some 5v5 Crystal League action. We've got a brand new season. We've got a brand new map. We've got a brand new meta. Same old team. Brand new everything else, though. Shozen, are we ready to rock? We are very close to going into our first matches.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with Eliton right now, as Eliton and his team are the reigning defending champions of the Crystal League Championship, and they have the entire team here. We've got Zero, Relic, Pele, Imagini, and Elite all ready to go in on their next match. So we're going to be watching the level 4, 5, and 6s today.
Yes.
Should be some good content, as we have a lot of really good teams here today. Yeah, we have the Cargera team is here. The Lissy Tank is back. Tank is back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Spicing up the format definitely will get some interest from a lot of people, because you know it feels different when you've got a different map. But as you said, this team, you don't expect this team to split up in any way, though. Obviously, reigning champs, they're gonna be sticking together. Rack look like they're making a push on the season, as
they are. They're aiming for first. Yeah.
So that's going to be super interesting, because we'll talk about after this first round of matches. Both have no allies, and crystals are going to be a big part of it, aren't they? So it's going to be a race to snap up the teams, and the reigning champions in Rack already. Obviously, I saw, I see the Cargera team is in Rack, or some of them are at least.
Cargera. A lot of them are in gray.
Yeah,
right
sorry. Now. I see Ruined Experiences in Rack. I see the 20v20 team has gone over to Rack, the Keeper of Nature boys. So could be an interesting season. We'll take a look at that. But right now, the first thing we're going to look at is our first Saturday Crystals on the brand new map. We've got Elitan and the boys, the reigning CLC champs for last season. And it looks like the SOB is still the go-to opener. Nope, he switched. As I say that, he switches to the hammer. He's on the Assassin Boots Swift Cut. On the hammer?
Interesting.
This is a brand new ability, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about everything in between. Home cap is now the first thing they'll get, and the fight will go towards the middle. Looks like Jasper, Molgot, it's the outnumbered guys. Probably not exactly what you want to see in your level 4, running into the world champions. But there's the dash in. There's the double tackle. Nice use of the Swift Cut then. More of a repositioning ability. And with a 12-second cooldown, you can do a lot with that, actually. It's gonna be very handy synergy with the hammer. This is a Haliful double tackle into the back. Jasper gonna be pushed away, but Relica goes in, finds his man. He's gonna leap out. 4 of them stacking, though. They gotta be very careful. There's another tackle coming any second, and they're lining up nicely. Oh, he goes for the 2 clothies in the end, though. Jasper, the healer, getting jabbed. More agony. He's gonna roll out. They're gonna follow him in. Swift Cut goes through. They're not actually able to finish him just yet, but he's been separated from his team, and now it's going to be a full rundown for these boys. Gamer under threat is going to get stabbed to death. Actually dies to Imagini's curse dots, but Relica had his number regardless. They're probably going to look for one more, and these guys are running the Carrion Caller frontline that we did see our runners up in the CLC. That was their go-to tank. Interesting choice there, but honestly, this looks like business as usual. New map, but no problem for the reigning champs right now.
Yeah, I did speak with them briefly about this new map, and they have mixed feelings on it. They feel that it's, while it does make it a bit harder to get that 3rd cap, it's very, very hard to get kills in this map. It allows for very easy fallback situations, and it's very easy to fall back to your home cap, not get any or lose any players, and then defend that closest point to your base. And right now, there's a 3 cap here, so what Elitan told me, it seems to be a little off at the moment. Or maybe
they're not
they
getting
just really outskilled their team. Yeah.
Historically, one of the things with this map is if you want kills, then you kind of have to let them get their cap. And then the fight takes place up top. Right. Whereas if you just want to close out the match as cleanly as possible, then you just 3-cap them like this and bully them in front of the tent. If you feel that you massively out-comp or out-skill your opponent, then you just bully them and take the 3-cap and just close it out quickly. If you want to farm kills, then you can give them that cap back and force them to come top. But at that point, you know, if they feel like they're being farmed, they might not come out anyway.
I do want to talk about a team that I saw show up today, because we do have a little bit of a downtime in this match here. Absolve just created a team with King Just, Gwes, Aurelia, and Lissy Tank. That's a very interesting team there.
Oh,
I would
man,
love
I
to
mean,
see them stick together for a while.
If they can stick together for a week with that lineup, I'd be very surprised. You know, I like Gwes, but he can be volatile at times, I'd say.
There's a couple of volatile people in that team.
Yeah. But, you know, stranger things have happened. I mean, Scuzz and Derek managed to play on the same team for an entire season. So I guess stranger things have happened. But this right now, I mean, we might want to look for another one because I feel that these guys are just going to bleed out 20 points at a time. If we have a more lively match going on, do let us know, Bogul.
I'm currently looking for a bit more of a competitive match right now. Unfortunately, that Absolve match is they're going up against the Elite team, not the Elite team, the Lasagna Man team, and they are getting punished right now. It is currently 71 to 149. The new guys, or the returning players, I should say, are not having a good go of this current match, as they are getting pretty much farmed right now. I'm going to keep looking for other matches because I would love to watch a competitive one.
Actually, Zero's in a lot of trouble here. I don't think he's got another blink available. They're on top of him with the takedown, and Zero is going to drop. So all of a sudden, it's 5v4 in front of the tent. Relica's running for his life. The Axe is coming on top. Relica's going to go. And the champs lose too. Elitan comes back in. Seed was in play, so he's going to be okay for now. But they're going to have to pull back. Somebody needs to cap, though. Pele. Oh, they've got the isolate on Pele. There goes the armor pierce. The save's trying to come out. They're trying to peel from him. He's doing well to get out of there. The Raven, slightly too late to reduce the heat there. And they haven't managed to grab a cap yet. Someone's going for it. Nice hook onto Elitan. That should secure the off cap. Slow the bleed a little. But this is what people were saying. Like, you know, in front of the tent, you're just waiting for the enemy to make a mistake. You get infinite chances because you have that safety right there. But I think that is the point of the different map. But as soon as they push out, they overextend a little bit. You can see the kills are going to start to rack up. Zero gets flicked in. Nice armor pierce. They get him down very, very quick. They hook him and they flick him. Zero may drop again, but no, he has the second blink available. 1 man down, 2 men down. There's a third. The last two going to go slinking into tent, I believe. Oh, maybe an extra? No, I can't quite find it.
We have a little bit more competitive match over here with Prince of Death versus Zayo.
Oh, that's a good. I mean, we're getting some decent matchups here for the level 4s, because usually there's a few sort of I don't want to say lesser teams, but you know, lower teams in the pool. Prince of Death
trying to rank themselves up, you know, ones who are trying to advance in the system.
Well, yeah. So, and this is again, okay, so this was probably going to be a story of the season then. Rack versus Elevate. Obviously, both sides, if they're both wanting first, then they're going to be pushing Crystal teams heavily. So these matchups are super important. Right now, Elevate with the upper hand, and Rack will need to take a few down and score some points. Down goes the Mystic Rocks, but cancelled, and bot kicks with the Death Givers. Just in the old Death Givers for a while, but I think Daggers might get a new lease of life, especially with that crosscut ability. What they'll want to do is continue this 4v5 to prevent the cap with the safety of the tent, and obviously with Prince respawning. There have been a few changes to the respawns as well. Are they going to get... Wow, they're not going to get the interrupt there, and that's going to give Elevate a really nice opener. Prince of Death trying to quickly get out there. Nergigante, Baby Gwega is here. Interesting lineup. I mean, I'm not sure again if this is Oh, guess my name. Gets hooked. He's in a bit of a spot. He should have roll available. Oh, they put the sacrifice into the Mystic Rocks. Did next to nothing. Guess my name is not long for this world. Oh, last second on the roll. And now Prince of Death forced to drop the rocks to get the sacrifice of his own. Bokix looking for the finish. But that Ghost Strike can't quite find the kill. And Bokix maybe overstayed his welcome. Great healing here from Onion, who we did see playing a DPS role in the CLC, but is back to what I would consider his main role in healer.
A very competent healer, Onion or AFK.
Zeo on the Ironclad, Zerfax on the Frost, and we got Guess My Name on the Heavy Crossbow. So it's a really
Zerfax is going to go down here, Lewpac. That's going to be the opening these guys need.
Oh, man. Mystic Rocks. Mystic Rocks on top of them. Frost is coming. Nerd's going to surge forward. This is going to be a massacre. Strat's actually going to drop. Bokix finds the Assassinate, but... Oh, look at that.
Oh, my God. Red just did a fantastic job of stabilizing this, Lewpac.
They need to kill him.
I'm surprised.
Finished him.
No, they're not going to kill Onion. He's going to get back to 10. All these guys are going to get back to 10. They didn't secure any of those kills.
And they put Baby Gregor with the bop in there.
Yeah, and they didn't even secure a double cap. That is...
Strat will likely cap on the respawn here, although Zeo sees it, or is expecting it, rather. This is going to hurt them a lot, actually.
This is rough. I thought they had it here. I thought they had at least an option to get cap control.
One thing we historically saw on this map back in the day is the equal fights last a lot longer on there.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, also, historically, this map was most popular and played the most during the rampant staff meta. So we had a lot of 25-minute long matches on this map.
Oh,
Onion so low.
Oh,
saved by Zerfax.
And they've lost Strat, and Gregor's all in for Onion here, and he's now...
they're not going to get him, and it's going to be a turn. Zerfax punishing him on the backside. Gets Gwega. That's going to be it here, Lewpac. I think this turns into a 3-cap.
I don't know. Prince of Death still has a full health bar to work with. I'm pretty sure they can... Oh, maybe not if they lose Kaminoff as well. Bokix making it work. I'm going to jump to Bokix, actually. I want to have a quick look at his build. They lose if they give up this cap, that's for sure. Yeah, so unsurprisingly, he's using Crosscut. He's using Stalker Jacket. He's using Hellion Hood. Stalker Hood. A pretty interesting setup for Bokix. He's nearly run out of res pots as well here. That cap hasn't flipped yet. Prince of Death. He's in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble here.
He might die trying to save it because obviously Kaminoff was there. Bokix looking for the Assassinate, but he hasn't got cooldowns.
I'm really surprised they weren't able to take it after taking down Kaminoff.
Oh, Bokix. He needs to be careful there. Oh, Ghost Strike. Gonna get him out of there. He'll be okay. Oof. I mean, a tank with a full health bar can survive a crazy amount of time if he preempts the damage with his defensives.
Absolutely. The tanks have a huge amount of survivability in this game right now in the 5v5 scene.
Oh, Bokix is caught in an horrible spot, but obviously the Ghost Strike as well is like, it really does allow him to just go invisible for a few seconds. I think he was used in Chain Slash as well, so he's got a bunch of different ways to just sort of juke damage and be annoying to pin down, basically. That's why he's able to play so aggressive. But it's also the playing aggressive is why he's gone through a whole stack of resistance potions in this. There goes the tick down to 14 points with 14 minutes remaining. These guys are going to need one hell of a comeback, but Red could just play super defensive now.
I think that's what they're going to do here.
They want to drag the fight away so that they could potentially get a few more kills. Guess my name. Wow. Force the Cleric. Protection of Nature comes down. Very nicely done for him. Prince of Death nearly up to the cap point. And Strat needs to be careful. He is the one they've been managing to lock down for a lot of this fight. Zerfax and him going toe-to-toe. But the problem is this Death Giver is so good at just unleashing. If he gets somebody low, the Death Giver could just finish him off in seconds. Although with no Ghost Strike available and no Mortal Agony, he wasn't able to get a kill there, even though a bunch of people were low. There's the Mortal Agony looking for the finisher, but Gregor's actually just trying to peel for his boys. Still no caps. It's going to be 4 points any second. Kaminoff caught in no man's land. Two of them getting slammed by the shards. Simultaneous, synchronized rolling. Olympic style there. But it's going to be about 10, and I imagine they'll probably just call it here. If they do lose one person, it's over anyway. But I think they know that it's done and dusted here.
I think this is our last level 4 currently rolling. I will see if we have any other matches that are halfway decent in our 2s.
And that is max points for Elevate and no points for Rack there. Now, obviously, it is worth mentioning, we're going to talk a lot over the coming weeks, I imagine, if there is a fight for first about these guys and their GVG teams. However, there is a daily cap on GVG points. So as long as you hit that cap, you can't earn any more points. So you'll see guilds rather generally have more teams than they need, just to make sure that if a couple of them get bad matchups or have a bad day, they can still hit that points cap. And it is also very top heavy. So a loss in the 4s isn't a big deal if you win a 5 and 6. It's the early ones you'd rather lose, but this early in the season, tokens, you might not have an abundance of tokens for level 5.
No, it's very early on. We are into the second week here. This is actually the first Saturday of crystals that we've gotten to watch under this new map, Lewpac. How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, good fun. I mean, obviously it's going to shape up quite interestingly over the weeks to come. I especially love it when there is a fight for the season. That being said, I very much I need to check on Rack a little bit here. They do have 8 towers. Where do they own towers, by the way? Do you know where Rack live?
Not off the top of my head. We do have one last match running here. It's a bit of a comeback on Sir Octung, who we have seen in the past.
School GVG Blackout on launch. This guy has been around forever. Razor as well, Slave Check. 38 to 84. They've got a bit of an uphill battle. And was that a Clarent Blade I saw on 777?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Dungeon Enjoyers. What a great name for a guild.
Well, they enjoy their dungeons, Lewpac.
Fire Staff on Razor. Razor was actually really, when Fire was like the meta for the month or so it was. He was one of
did you see that? Lewpac 7 just snagged that cap right in front of Sir Octung. The blue team, being very, very slow to respond, just gave up a cap. There was no fight for it. They had to keep that. Samtan is very low in the back. They get the stun off. It's 7 to 3 actually in favor of Order of Ares and Shilun Sin. So this has actually been a pretty convincing performance from Red. But yeah, Ryza not wanting to give up the Fire Staff yet. And these guys are winning with a Clarent Blade, by the way. Can we just say that? Like, when was the last time you saw a Clarent Blade chosen? Effective? Being effective?
Yeah. Used in a 5v5.
I mean, I've seen it, like, in the lower ones, like we're watching now. It still happens in the low-level ones. This is a level 2. People enjoy their Cleric Blade. It's a fun weapon to play. Sword's still fun. I mean,
I love it, but like, I mean,
not what I would consider top tier.
Old Clarent Blade, in my opinion, was more satisfying, but it has had a couple of buffs on this new iteration. Barcode in a bit of trouble here. In fact, talking about that, he's on Bear Paws. I don't know what's going on in this match, Shozen. This is just anything goes. This is how it should be.
It's a level 2. It's a level 2, Lewpac. It should be like this.
Guys are into Fire Wave, into Searing Flame, but they trade Fat Boy. Very nicely done. Ryza looking for the cap, but Two Black's already there with the auto fire. They're trying to bait him into it, though. He gets the Cleric off. He does get the Cleric off. No Purge available. Ryza eats the auto fire. They're not going to finish him. No Sweeping Bolt. Guys are up. Res Pot as well. Going to be committed to this. They need to find another kill. They need to find a cap. I expect Fat Boy will go straight for top. Samtam or somebody else probably needs to be ready to counter this. And Blue, if they want anything to happen here, Blue are going to have to make a big push like this. Exactly at the time that you expect Fat Boy to be going top. But Samtam's running straight to it. He already knows what's going on this map, and they're not going to allow any shenanigans. In 20 seconds, they'll be on the 3-pointer. I mean, you could fight the 1v1, technically. You could fight the 1v1.
Well, Fat Boy went the old bow build in order to probably take that 1v1.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, like you said, it's a level 2, so the gear's quite cheap. And bow is probably one of the stronger 1v1s. Like, if left unchecked, it's just going to be a murder. And also, another thing you can do here, by the way, with your respawn, even though you've got 2 caps, you could always threaten the back cap, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. They're going all in for the healer, though. That bow doing some serious damage from Fat Boy. They're going to get the healer kill here, surely. And now they have an opportunity. They're going to grab the cap as well.
They did get the cap. Doketa was up on top of him. I have no idea how he let that happen.
They ninja the East. Like I said, the respawn ninja the East, but this is going to be really interesting. 20 seconds. They got to defend both.
Sir Octong, you can't leave. Sir Octong, you have to stay.
He can move back if there's already somebody up there.
Okay, they do have barcode up there. I didn't see barcode up there at the time.
But it's
going to have to hurry up and get this cap.
They're not able to cap.
Nope.
Just being defended.
Late.
Oh, we nearly saw a really cool comeback there.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, just because you got the 2 caps and you're about to win doesn't mean you shouldn't still try and ninja the 3rd cap. Because as you saw there, it could be relevant. And it just causes more stress on your opponent. When you've got the upper hand, it's a very good idea to keep the pressure on, keep twisting, keep bullying Shozen.
You always want to keep the pressure on your opponent. The more pressure you can put on them, the more likely they are to make mistakes. And as we see the meta get tighter and tighter, it's more about making your opponent make mistakes than making good plays yourself. It really is more about putting on pressure, consistent pressure, putting your opponent into a place where they have to make choices, and some of those choices are going to be bad.
Yeah, it's a mean way to play, and it's kind of anti-fun, but if you want to win, it's the way to go, isn't it? Like, and people are here to win. I found Rack, by the way. So this is the 5v5 show. You're going to see us every Saturday for the rest of the season. Is where you'll find us. So this is a brand new season, a brand new map, a brand new meta taking place. Anything else you want to go over, Shozen, before we sort of get into this early week review of who's doing what, so to speak?
Sorry, I got a little distracted. My PC just popped the DVD out and then popped it back in and then wanted to do stuff. So I didn't hear anything you just said there, Lewpac.
That was me hacking you. Sorry, Shozen. No, like anything you want to go over before we get into sort of the potential season race that maybe.
Well, I think there is the changes to just the balance, the game balance with the last patch that came out. There's a lot of game balance changes. I was figuring we could look at some of those weapons. As far as big things, the biggest ones that we have to look at this season are the map for Crystal Leagues. The changes to rewards for Crystal Leagues, much more fame, much more silver. It is easier to get involved at the lower levels than ever before. You get almost triple the silver at the lower levels than you got last season.
Yeah, so the rewards have been massively buffed.
The rewards for Might and Favor have been buffed significantly. But it's really those silver and fame individual rewards for Crystal League that I think are going to push more people to play.
Yeah, 100%. And we will. I don't want to sound like a broken record because we go over this like every week, every season about making it more inclusive, bringing more people in, improving the map pool, just improving the experience for everybody. And that is something that's going to be a constant, ongoing thing within Sandbox because it is one of the unique selling points of the game, and we do think that it's just such a. I hope everybody that's watching and everybody that plays at some point gets to experience it because there's no buzz like a good Crystal match. Even when it's the non-full loot ones, you still get that buzz. We're going to see a lot of teams then fighting under these top 2 banners, Shozen. Elevate and Rack. I mean, have Elevate officially declared a push for a win?
So I heard last week from a very reliable source that both Rack and Elevate would be pushing for first. Then we saw Escalation drop the Dior tags. They're playing as their own separate guild. Elevate is alone in Dior, so it kind of looks like they're pushing.
Yeah.
They have changed their gameplay from very much a open world style to collecting points. You see them both in the crystals, the 20s, a lot of castle taking right now, more focused on castles than on towers.
Yeah.
More focused on castles than on content. And this is a big change from what we've seen from Elevate in the past. Now, I'm not going to say that they're going to do this all season long, because they've already gotten themselves a very considerable lead over second place. I believe they're 30K over second place, which is, I think, 40% greater than second place right now. That's very impressive very early on. We're into week 2. It doesn't really even start to have a legit 1 and 2 until you get to the end of the first week. And since that happened, Elevate's just been pulling away.
Rack will lose this race. Just by the way, like Rack will 100% lose this race simply based on the towers that each guild owns and the region they occupy. Rack has 8 towers to Elevate's 5 or 6, 8 to 6. But Elevate's towers are all in the inner ring. And when I took first place in a season with Sun, we had the exact towers that they have now, and they have a very different opportunity than we had. We used to have to wait for GVGs to level towers, whereas these guys have been able to pump the tower levels. They have a tower at level 8 already in the inner ring, just through the vortexes and obviously the crystals, right? And this is huge because those not only pay out daily, right? Gulch is generating on its own 900 points a day, and it's already got 1,200 in storage, right? So Rack not only needs to catch up with Elevate, right? And I hate to say it, like it just into week 2, barely, or not even into week 2, really. Like all the towers weren't even taken this time last week. Just with those towers alone, Rack will need to drastically change their game plan to even keep them in sight, because this will escalate quickly. See what I did there? Even though it's Elevate and Escalate is the other guild, but you know what I'm saying. Rack,
I do, and
if Rack want first place, they're gonna have to do something different, massively.
We have already seen in chat. Chat is responding to what you're saying right now. Pato Fajki is saying that Rack is not trying to level their territories. They're letting Elevate go ahead and get those castles. That it just doesn't look like they're going to see a huge competition for first there, even though we have Berkson saying while they may have stopped massing for content, they're not letting Elevate take it. They just have no way of contesting.
I mean, you have to take those mages down.
Yeah.
You can't allow the mages to sit up as well. But like as I said, when you base out of a zone, it's very easy to defend level 8 mages in a zone. It's super fun actually to defend. Like you can take on much bigger fights on a level 8 tower with a smaller force. And we know those guys are used to fighting outnumbered. But yeah, that's definitely gonna be the pace of the season rapidly. And I know because I've been in that exact spot. And I remember Black Order and who was the other one at the time? Mudhouse. Both.
Yeah, Mudhouse. I remember that guy.
Both been really great, but once the towers were up and running, they just couldn't keep pace. And they weren't able to raid them and deal with it themselves. And yeah, it just gets out of hand very, very quickly. I don't know are they political enemies? Do they fight open world? Rack? But I'm not sure who I saw Rack fighting with last season, or are they an independent entity? Obviously, Elevate is Dior with Escalation. But
so Rack is working with other guilds. There are a number of alliances that are, I believe it's GDL that they're working with. Bogul, do you remember? I know you've been watching. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and now chat is saying that Rack is part of GDL but dropped for points. I did want to get that confirmed. Thank you. I believe that Mosif can't see because he has a black name on a black background. Thank you, Mosif. I did highlight over you. We do appreciate you in chat. Anybody who gives us information to try to be more accurate with our reporting, we do appreciate it. It's very hard for us to pay attention to everybody at all different types of content through different time periods in different parts of the world. Remember, everybody plays on one server. It makes figuring out who's in whose alliance very difficult, especially when everybody drops tag, changes tags, and wants to have a new alliance each day just for memes. By the way, we have ooh now taking over for Trap, who were used to be girls.
I'm so So glad that I don't have to be on the war report and say these alliance names out loud. It's bad enough listing off the team names during the CLC shows, and we get some wild names during that. Yeah, so I mean, as I said, I don't want to be pessimistic and I don't want to be defeatist, but looking at their towers and the amount of level 1 towers, if RAC want to make a push for first place, they need to take a very different approach, because Crystal League is a lot of points. Yes. But the trick is to put yourself. It's also capped, so you need just if you're worried about the end of season Crystal League, and obviously that's still a long way off, but you need to put yourself out of range of a catch up, if that makes sense. You know, if you want to win a season, you want to go into the final weekend with crystals not mattering. You need that big of a gap, and I think the gap is something like 160.
120. It's 120. Yeah.
Is it? What is it?
70 on one day and 50 on the other.
90. I thought it was, yeah, but 20s as well.
Yeah, and they're all part of the same cap. So on Saturday, the cap is higher, I believe, at 70.
The 20 cap is different. The 20 cap is separate from the 5s cap. They have 2 different caps. 100%. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like 150k or something up for grabs.
Okay. And Mosif is saying that mage rating is not as powerful as it once was, because now you are capped at 75k points a season for mages, and that feels very low to me.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you don't want people to be able to generate infinite points from mage rating, right? Yeah. Because we've been in danger. I don't think it's ever happened, but we've been in danger of seasons being won by just potatoes mage rating level 1 mages like 24/7.
Hey, right? Be nice to the guys from the Hog Riders there.
No, but it's a PvP season, and it's like mage rating undefended mages and running if anyone comes isn't really PvP. So while you want to encourage people to actually do the mage raiding, you also have to factor in the fact that you're denying points by mage raiding. But level 8 mages are obnoxiously hard to bring down against somebody that wants to defend them. Oh, wow.
Oh, is it time? Oh, Bogul is telling us it's time. That means I have to pull a raffle.
Okay. Who do you want to watch? Bogul, give us a name.
I only have level 1s.
Oh. Lasagna, he's on Lasagna Man.
Okay, let's head over to Lasagna Man.
Did we see if anyone popped their skins at the end of the CLC, by the way?
I will message those guys and see if anybody did.
I haven't been on since, oh no, I did do reset day, but after the CLC, I went and sat with my wife, like, because it was such a long tournament, like so many like full length series and then a double series final. I was like, right, I need to take a breather, go sit with my wife. I passed out on the sofa immediately after casting. I was like, going to come back and chat with you guys after it finished, and I actually passed out flat. Lucrative also on the Death Givers. Aings on the Spear. We got Bogul Sweet Tooth and the boys. This is going to be a good match, actually, shows in this one. Both teams opting for the 4-1. Now, something I have seen and heard about in the lower level ones, right, is the 3-man double plate hold on mid, right? And the back cap being done by a 2-man, like, one-shot Hellgate comp. Like what you'd see at a 2v2 Hellgate. Because if somebody comes to defend, they get one shot, basically, by this comp because there's no healer there. And if you send your healer to help or another person, you just lose to the sustain comp in the mid. There's some ratty stuff. But what I love about this, by the way, I mean, this just brings back so many memories right now, shows. And these guys, like, just pressuring the cap over and over again, trying to force the action. Nobody wanted to step into each other's turf until the mid cap's gone. At which point, oh, wow, Nick rolled into the Mystic Rocks there. Not a great
landing for him. Yeah.
Oh, nice play, though, from Bogul Sweet Tooth to just CC them out. This is a good Ironclad map as well.
Unfortunately, I want to give an update to this team here. Yeah. Alexander here, that was the member of the CLC winning team that had to bow out after the EU portion of the matches on the Saturday before the CLC, before the NA. He said, I won't be able to be here tomorrow for the level 8 and 9s, so they replaced him with their newest member, 0 I4 or 4 I20. So,
wow. Feels bad, but you know, they might not have won. No offense to Alexander, I'm sure he's a very competent player, but different player, different result. Who knows? You know, maybe the stars aligned and that was that. Obviously, I'm sure he's gutted to have missed out, but this is the way of the world. They can't. Then they're obviously going to want to play. Oh, nice armor pierce on the 2 on the south there. This season, Shozen, I will design 3 more maps to give us a pool of maps.
oh, you're going to design some maps? Okay.
I
look forward to seeing it.
Maps. I might base them on some of the old maps that we used to have in beta as well. There used to be more maps back in the day.
Yeah, there were, I believe we had 5 total maps.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect number because in a competitive format, best of 3, both teams can ban 1 map and choose 1 map. And then the final map will be the one that was neither banned or picked. Lasagna Man, drop it low. Nice bombs coming in. Oh, those explosive arrows. Nick looking for the finisher. He's got the got that explosion as well. Very, very nice skill. And really hard for Lasagna Man actually to iframe. Oh, good save on Fat next from interspersed. But Ace just killed Alexander on the point next to his healer, and Lucrative gets run down. So the chase there, the chase from the Elevate boys was a little bit much. Or we got Elevate and Raw and Bogasweetu ungilded. It was a very interesting interaction. Aang's got the kill next to the healer as well.
Yeah, that's very strange. Usually you don't see that.
What a hook onto Nick. Zibs gets the sacrifice off, but it gets immediately dropped low again. The cap's going to go, and we're going to see the blue Elevate team take a much more defensive position right now.
This is very interesting. Even with that incredible push there, being able to push all the way back to the other point, they were not able to get that 3 cap. Which is very different than what we would see in the old map. If you were able to get that kind of push, generally, you would be able to gather up your guys and secure that 3 cap. But now it is much harder to do, and it's much easier for the defending team.
I think the early 3 caps maybe was slightly less common because of the faster respawns, but it did happen. And like often we'd see that early fight win into the 3 cap, and that was the match decided. So I think even when the other map comes back, I think maybe just placing each cap closer to the spawn point. Lasagna Man gets picked off, but Lucrative is going to get traded.
Alexander really under a lot of pressure too. I think he's going to need some heals. He gets the heals. He's safe for now, Lewpac.
He kited up towards the point. I thought it was going to cost him, but really nice play actually from his healer Zibs. But they are stacked a little bit. Aang's dropping low into Spurs. Getting knocked about a little bit by Bogul, trying to separate them. Fatnex is in trouble. He gets swapped in. Shards raining down. Good saves coming out. Judy, aggressive Judy though. Fatnex has the seed. Alexander has to roll out again. They're using the cultist cowl as well, just to keep his spam under control. So if they see him go Morganas, or if they see him go Speedcaster, they stick the cultist cowl curse on him and just cause him to damage himself every time he casts. Makes him think twice about just spamming. Zibs is low. Good armor pierce onto Nick. He does have that Astral Aegis, though. He gets a ton of defense from the Astral Aegis. It's like, it's one of the most defensive offhands you can possibly get. But right now, they're happy to just back and forth this, take the trades, because it is 2 caps to 1. But with 7 minutes gone nearly, like, it's still 145 to 106. You see what I mean about the slower pace of the map?
Yeah, it's just a much slower map. But generally, these fights last forever. It's so open. There are very few chokes. It's very hard to punish 3 people at once. You don't see like the 3-person geysers that you would see in the other map, which sets up incredibly devastating combinations of kills, taking out healers. It's just much harder to put pressure on 2 or 3 at once in this map.
I'm not saying Lucrative really pop off in this at all as well. He seems to be permanently pre-stacked with Curse, which is obviously brilliant. But also, like, oh, never mind.
There goes Volnazera. You just said you weren't seeing him, and he comes in and he blows up Volnazera.
He found his opening. They were doing a great job of stopping him there, but You only need one opening with this. The Mortal Agony Death Givers double Ghost Strike is just so good. We'll probably talk about this weapon a little bit. Like for anyone that doesn't know, obviously 3 stacks E Ghost Strike resets your cooldowns. You're able to do it twice instantly. And if you're quick enough, you get both strikes off during the Mortal Agony Armor Shred, which is a ton of damage. The Zanyaman gonna find out as well. He's gonna get pushed back into the 2. It's very unlikely to push into a 3. I imagine Volnazera. Actually, the back cap's on. I'm gonna nip over there.
The back cap just got interrupted. It was going. That would have been devastating for the red team there, having won that engagement and lost caps. But they were able to interrupt. They do finally have cap control for the first time in this match. We'll see if they can bring this back to an even fight.
Yeah, and this is the thing is like because you've got that path across the middle basically to go to the back cap. You've constantly got to have one eye on it. When you're playing defensive, when you've got the top cap and a 2 cap advantage, it's a lot easier. Like if you look at their default position, right? They want the enemy to either push through this choke or up onto the platform. And when you're standing there, it's very easy, for example, for the Frost player to drop off and protect the back cap if he needs to. Oh, Alexander, big combo. Bomb goes out and the pierce. Nice from Lasagna, though. No hesitation there. He doesn't care that he's full health. He knows how much damage he's about to take. So he popped his res pot at full HP to ward off that full stack Sunder and Bomb combo. And that is 100% always the right play. Honestly. Like a lot of people will not use their res pot unless they're in danger. I would say would be a more inexperienced player's mentality. But Lasagna Man knows that if he uses it there, he mitigates so much damage that his team can take momentum. And it's super important that he plays deep. He can't be driven out from the first volley. Otherwise, he's in big trouble. Although Lucrative nearly finds him. The Stalker Jacket might finish the job. Oh, they put the Cultist on him, though. And Volnazera gets bombed. Oh, he nearly ran into that explosive bolt.
That would have been so good.
It's Nila.
Nick goes in, though, and they finally get him with Alexander. Gets that kill there. Also gets Fatnex going wild here with those Frost Shards. Well done.
Bogul, right, did a huge play there. As soon as that pressure went out, he immediately kidnapped the enemy healer into his own backline. They didn't even try and kill him. All they did was just try and keep him away from his team. And now we see our first 3 cap of the match. And it's 103 to 96. I think we picked the right match to watch, Shozen.
For sure.
No changes here. I'm loving seeing crossbows come back. Crossbows and fire are my favorite range weapons. There's just something so satisfying about the crossbow. And I love the well-prepared explosive bolt variant because you're just so mobile. Like move and shoot, move and shoot, move and shoot. The new armor pierce bomb combo. Oh, it's such a fun weapon to play. And the fact is as well, on that one-hander, you get to use an offhand. And you know I love an offhand, Chosen.
Absolutely love the good offhand. Offhands are like give you so many more options, really. Yeah. It's really cool that people can really diversify their builds by choosing a one-hander and then the offhander that complements whatever they need to get done here.
Yeah, the offhand, quite often what you'll see is the offhand is used to mitigate the downside of whatever build you're playing, right?
Yes.
You know, if you have problems being CC'd, you've got a Sacred Scepter. You know, if you want to do more damage and you just need even more damage, you don't care about defense, you've got the Crypt Candle, you've got the Astral Aegis if you want to be more tanky. If you've got energy problems, there's options for that. If you want to cast faster, there's options for that. Now, obviously, one-handers inherently do less damage than two-handers because otherwise it would be imbalanced. But I actually think the flexibility of an offhand outweighs that every day of the week. Because sure, the one-hand Frost does more damage, but he casts faster because he has a tome. Nice work there from Lasagna Man. But these guys, they pushed us 5 and these guys can just kite, right? Red can just kite. And then as soon as they see not 5 there, they'll come back out. Happy enough in front of their 10. Lucrative maybe sees an opening onto Aings. Good freeze from Fatlex though. It says to him, no, think twice. Like Phil Collins said, stop, think twice, you know? Lasagna Man, Mortal Agony goes out, Ghost Strike, and he is going to get picked there. And this is the thing, right? It's, you have to respect the execute potential of these Death Givers. you cannot, you can't play in the same way as we used to. When as soon as that Mortal Agony Death Givers, or more, if you see a Mortal Agony Bloodletter as well, you have to respect that. If you don't have a res pot available, if you don't have any sort of defensive, you can't put yourself anywhere near him below 50% HP. I think Shozen has a little disconnection issue here. We'll see if he's coming back soon. Bogul, what are your thoughts on the match so far?
Long.
Well, this is how it's gonna be, Bogul. It does mean less filling in between matches for us.
I mean,
But this is how,
all right, but
this is how you can expect it to be this season. This map generally plays out slower. Right now, Red's doing a good job of the 3 cap, but it's so hard to police all 3 from a back cap as well. And I think Blue knows right now that they have to grab a cap from somewhere. Zib's in a lot of trouble. If they can find Zibs, that'll be the opening. It's hammer play. Armor Pierce goes out with the Iron Breaker. They're not able to finish him yet, but they should get him here. That is Red's healer gone, and all of a sudden they can't defend all the caps. Nick's going to look for the tick. They got the 20 tick. Lucrative finds the enemy healer, though. Intersperse has gone down, and now Alexander's going to win this fight in mid, and this is all over. Engs is going to find Nick. Volnazera is going to die, though, to Shards. Alexander might drop to Curse Stacks here. One more tick and he goes. Ouch. What a painful way to go. Maybe it's not over. Oh no, Fanex is gone. Volnazera gets iron-cladded to death. Bogga Sweet who's going to die. Everybody dies. That was a full wipe.
I think this is over.
7 points. Yeah, he couldn't get there in time. It is over. Wow, what a... I mean, loot everything. Quick, loot everything. What? Why is he
It's our
running
last
for it?
level 5 that's running.
He
So
knows.
we would have to swap over to a level 3.
Well, let's put it up.
Uh,
Give me a name. Let's put it up.
do level 2, THC positive, without the E at the end.
Oh yeah, I know this guy. I've either seen him in GVGs or I've hellgated with him or something. I know the name. Vaporu. We've got some Zorn boys up on here. Ryan. Hey, Saractung again. Saractung and the boys this time looking for the win, but Blue with the 3 cap. Oh, nice bear paws hit onto them all though. The bleeds. And if Allied Air goes down, this could be over. They're going to run him down in the Mystic Rocks. He's not able to get out of there. And Blue are going to lose their healer. They're going to lose probably everybody thanks to that meatball. Orion may get out of there. I very much doubt THG is going to get out of there. He's got an axe about to roll and root. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, nice stun. But only buys him a few seconds. They can afford to lose 1 cap potentially. They'd rather not, but they can't lose another kill in the meantime. So they've got to be very careful till their healer gets back.
Question. What is the first thing you do differently on this map compared to the other one? Just to check.
Watch backups.
Watch backups more?
Yeah. It's a much more like dedicated backup observer, because previously from the mid platform, you could see everything. There's a bigger gap between the caps here, and there's like this big wide path around the tents. Like it's so easy, right? From a respawn point, go into the back cap. You can go there without being seen. Whereas on the old map, if you're sitting in mid, you're always going to see someone going for the back cap if you've got an eye on it. So you've got to have, like, generally the Frost should watch it if you've got a Frost, because he has more mobility than anybody else. I haven't seen any of these one-shot dedicated back cap teams yet.
I also think a lot of people just don't remember that this isn't a viable strategy potentially. Like,
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't know, like, how long was this? 5 years ago? No, 3.5, 4.
It's not 5 years ago since this map's gone.
We're doing the 5th anniversary this year, though. I think.
No, it was Queen when we did away with territory GVGs, wasn't it?
Right.
So pre-Queen, we still had both maps. I don't think it's great that we went from 2 maps to 1, though. I think In fact, we went from 4 maps to 1, technically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to come for this year. I mean, on Friday we talked about the new guild recruitment rework that's posed on the roundtable. We showed that off a little bit. That's quite cool. But we're still waiting for that dev talk. I think we announced it like 4 times.
Recorded. Yeah, he had it recorded. He's ready to go. You know, he's got a lot going on being the CEO of a big company, you know.
The CEO of Albion.
Exactly. Lord of Albion.
Well, 12 minutes. 12 minutes. I think Shozen just sent us a message. His power went out. It just came back. And the internet is gone though.
Happens. I'm trying to log in to the forums.
Have you not seen it yet?
No, and I can't remember what my login is.
Every time. Can't remember your
login. Every time. Well, it's because it all fills now, you know? Oh, Shozen is back in the land of the living. What a lad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was scary. My computer just started blinking. Like one monitor turns off, then the next monitor turns off, then the internet stops working. It was very bizarre. It was a nice little power brownout. Yay, snowstorm.
It's still snowing over there?
Yeah, it's still snowing. It snowed yesterday, today, the day before that. Yesterday was like very warm, and it still snowed. Today is well above freezing, and it's still
warming, mate. Weather's all over the place right now. You missed a banger of a match there. In fact, 2 bangers of matches. We nearly had comebacks galore, but the bag caps at the end of the match we were watching, the Lasagna Man one chosen. Both teams lost their healers in quick succession, and it descended into chaos. But as is the GVG way, the team that already had the caps won.
Oh well, that will happen. It's going to take me a little while to get back to everything working as normal. Usually it takes us about 15 minutes to get set up.
Back to life.
Yeah. Just give me...
We got 11 minutes before the next match. There's a lot of these death givers we're seeing. I like to see the bear paws. There wasn't a clown in that last one, but the meta's definitely shifted a little bit, and I think this map's gonna definitely give us a lot of reason to have the frost still. Crossbows are actually a pretty good 1v1 weapon as well. The one-hand crossbow, particularly if you don't have the iframe available, is devastating in the 1v1. Curse is still very strong. I still don't think the gap is big enough to just play a dedicated 1v1 build and 24/7 the caps.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what happens with those back caps. I do anticipate it getting more and more active for those back caps. As people, I wouldn't even be surprised if we start to see a more of a 4-1 meta, where you have 1 down low and 4 up top, and combining on the 5v5 fights, or as we saw in that Elevate fight, more fighting in the center, not necessarily next to one of the caps, but in that center position where you can get to all 3 caps very easily.
Yeah, the only thing is with that though, like it looks like it's close to the top cap, but actually you have to go down and out the walls. So
right.
The main thing that's very important for teams here is if you're the guy that dies, if one of you dies, right, and you respawn, you should always ride for the off cap or for one of the caps you don't have, simply because any time that they're not checking it, you grab it for free and then you get straight in the fight. Like you should always ride for it, make it a habit. Unless, like, I mean, I think even if there's a really close fight going on, you should still probably ride for the cap, because you're more likely to get it if there's an intense fight going on. They're more likely to have their eyes off the ball and allow you to sneak it. And it's only like 7 seconds, and then you're back in the fight anyway. So
100%. I mean, it takes probably about 15 minutes to go and cap. It's 7 seconds to get the cap itself, but you're moving out of position, and then you'll be coming up generally from behind your opponent. If you want to wrap back around, go through mid, you're looking at a 30-second difference.
Yeah, I mean, you can ride through them as well if you want. Like if
that's what I would say is the best way to do it. Yeah.
But it's still super important. We're not going to see such a 3 cappy meta, and also like The interesting thing is when you have these fights at the mid, we'll see the 4-1 opener. Both teams will take their opening cap and then head towards the mid. But we don't have those tiny little choke points that people are getting like forced through. And also another thing is when you force your opponent down the choke in resource 1, your ranged DPS can take those wall positions, those turret positions, and just rain down on the opponent while they're retreating. Now it's a very linear path, right? You go in a straight line. So the ranged DPS have to keep pushing if they want to keep up the DPS because you're not forced to run past where they already are. So it's a lot less punishing when you're trying to kite. So I think we're
totally
going to see,
agree,
we're going to see like a lot more push and pull gameplay, trying to draw them in. If you're trying to get kills and you feel like you have the upper hand, you want to draw the opposition. If you have the cap advantage, draw them into your side as much as possible and kind of create a little death trap. And then you put the killing blow. If they ever get forced back through that choke in the center, that's where you put the killing blow. But like you said, teams can just fight on the actual mid, like the center of the map, in order to avoid those choke points entirely. Just fight around the central crystal. It's not a cap point, but if you've got the cap advantage, who cares? As long as
Well,
you've
it
got
gives
someone
you
watching.
within 7 seconds you can get to any cap.
Yeah, I do think that center point though is quite close to tens. If you're looking for kills, it's pretty easy for your opponent to get to the tens.
Yeah, well, I think it's more about maintaining that cap control from center so that you can prevent the rat situation. You can see every position. You can basically count much better. And it allows you to have that map-wide control. There is, like you said, there's no choke. There's no place to defend. There's no place you know they have to come by. So you almost either have to spread or position yourself in a spot where you can see multiple advancements coming at you. And that center position seems to be the best. That center position used to be a giant hole. There was no center position there before. It used to be a giant hole in the original map, right, Lewpac?
Yeah. No, there was, as far as I can remember, there was always that platform there. Because that used to be on that tower layout, that was where the tower was, on that center platform, and then the caps around where the resources used to spawn.
You couldn't fight there for some reason. I remember there wasn't a lot of fights in center before, and we're already seeing the center being used in ways that it hasn't been before.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, like you said, it's been a while since we had that map, and the theory crafting, the game theory, the knowledge of the 5v5 gameplay is on another level to how it used to be. Like, teams now would go back to the best teams back then and probably just pick them apart just because the standard is so much higher than it used to be because we have a more accessible system. And so more teams participate. It's not just the same 4 GVG teams anymore.
Well, I just pulled 2 raffles, Lewpac, so we have 2 new winners.
Train. You got to get on the raffle train.
Check the chat right now to see if you have won. I'm going to put my name in there and tell you to whisper me. If you have been pulled by Moopot, just whisper me to claim your prize.
I didn't even win. I mean, I didn't enter, but I also didn't win.
All right. Do we have any teams signed up yet, Bogul?
We should have, I imagine. Is anyone playing out of towers, Bogul, interestingly?
Say that again?
Is there any teams queuing from towers? You can see that, can't you?
Just one team so far. Not
okay. Oh, no, one team not from tower. This is there was level 6s earlier, wasn't there? But there was level 5s on Tuesday. So theoretically, teams should have tickets. But this early in the season, there's often a shortage of tickets on the first weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to have a couple of teams ready for the level 6s, but not a huge number. I wouldn't be surprised if we only get 1 or 2 matches out of this. I do expect at least 3 teams to sign up, as we've had 3 victories today. But that doesn't mean that we can't get a 4th team from Tuesday or from earlier today. The SEA time slot, Lewpac.
Yeah, doesn't mean that at all. We'll see who's going to be fighting. Apparently, Elitan, the Elitan and Cargera team fought in the last one. don't know who won, but the Cargera team is disbanded. So
Well, then it's the Elite team has
I'm gonna
won.
go
They
out-
are
yeah.
signed up.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Elite team won, our reigning champions. Cargera finished 4th, didn't they? In the
Yeah, they lost. So that
tournament?
was a very interesting tournament for our champions. On the first day, their first matchup was against the reigning champions, the Cargera team, and they lost.
They
It
lost
sent
to that,
them
yeah.
to the loser bracket, right? And then they beat everybody through the loser bracket and were able to get into the next day, where they ended up having to face against the Cargera team again for their first match on day 2 to win the losers bracket. And they ended up beating Cargera's team. Then they had to face off against the team they practiced against the most and learned from the most, the Mitos team.
Yeah.
Good friends with them there. And they felt that they had it when they realized they were going against Mitos. And Mitos ended up losing versus No Pain, No Gain, the double glaive comp. And we're like, okay, we're high from beating Cargera. They're low from losing. And yeah, it came right in, and it was an emotional victory for them. They kind of just blew right through them. But then they fought against that double glaive team, and they had to win 4 matches.
Series. Yeah.
2 series. They had to win 4 matches in order to take that, and they did. They won the first one 2-0.
And it was
But the
2-1
second
at the
one
final, yeah, it went
1-1,
1-1.
and then
Oh.
it was like the final match, and those guys went to a third match more than anybody.
Yeah.
And so they had a wild ride through the tournament. And you can listen to that ride on the interview series. I did an interview with them on Monday, and we aired it on Wednesday. You can check that out both on SoundCloud and on our VODs here. What was it? Bengalis was the name of that team there. And they're going to be going in right now. And we'll watch them fight now. After this match, you should go listen to that interview, guys.
Yeah, you can, and also you can check out all of the matches on YouTube. They've all been like edited, chopped into individual ones. But that was without a doubt the best CLC we've ever had. So that is well worth a watch on the Albion TV YouTube channel. As you said, I think we should go in on the champs then.
I think so too. Yeah, it was the most competitive all-around tournament that we ever saw. Oftentimes, we'll see stomps on the first day in the tournament.
Yeah.
And 1 or 2 good matches on the second day, but that was not what we saw this time. Every team put a good matchup. Yeah.
Which is why I physically passed out at the end of it. Like
you were not the only one, dude.
Involuntarily, just my body, my mind, everything was just done, Shozen.
Oh, I was done too. I ended up passing out, woke up in the middle of the night, like, wait, why is 1 o'clock and I'm wide awake? This can't happen. Threw my sleep off the whole week.
Also, we got Bogus Sweetu and his boys versus this Elitan team. I like this though, because he's playing Bot Pelm, he's playing the Ironclad, something a bit different. They've got that aggressive one-hand crossbow. This is quite an explosive team. You got to wonder, and again, we got some Elevate boys versus some Rack boys. Story of the season. Rack are gonna need more than just GVG teams, though, Shozen, in my opinion. I do really like this Ironclad, though. Ironclad crossbow. Elitan's full comboed here. Doesn't pop a resi, and look at that. He drops so low. The seed did pop just in time, but he's like already half HP. Lucrative. Oh, Relica. Great awareness with the flick there. Just trying to stop the assassinate onto Elitan. The sacrifice is committed into the Judicator armor. Now the curse stacks are starting to go, and that is the pony has done its trick, Shozen. And now the momentum's going to swing the other way. Lucrative can't even get into this fight right now. He's just so slowed. They might look for Elitan, though. Catch him behind. Nice pop. There's one. Is there a second one? There's the second one. One more hit should finish him. Oh, the last explosive bolt just missed him by a whisker. I think Shozen's power's gone out again, Bogul. So come and scream with me. That was so close. If that last bolt had hit him, he was dead there. Pele, 1, 2, the roll. He rolls the bomb. Mortal Agony goes out. The Stalker Jacket. He's trying to kite for his life right now. Bogus Sweetie. This Ironclad comp is so good. Pele's in big trouble. They get the assassinate. They're going to trade Lucrative, but they don't care because they killed the healer. And killing the healer's pretty good, I heard, Bogul.
I think that's how you win some matches, I heard. From
I think
experts.
Zero might be in trouble there. Shard, not quite enough to finish him. Imagine comboed. Pele's back in the game, but he has no cooldowns right now, so we can't help anyone for like 5 more seconds.
Are they
even
losing
then,
here?
oh, yeah, they are. The champs are on the ropes. It's going to be at least 1, maybe even 2 caps. Yeah, it's going to go all 3 caps right now. And this is not, you wouldn't have put your money on this early on, but the ironclad on this map is so good, right? Because on the old map, like, you basically have to thread the person through the choke with the ironclad if you want to kidnap. Do you know what I mean? Whereas here, you've got so much more space to work with. It's a lot easier to just... You're not trying to get them to a specific place. You're just trying to separate someone from their team. And now Red can play super push and pull around this 3 cap. Drag them away slowly across mid, as Shozen talked about previously. And then, of course, if they see them trying to cap, they just push back in. And they've got this... Oh, nice cleanse there from Relica, actually. Cleanse the Sunder so the bomb doesn't do too much damage.
Oh, the pullback on Lucrative, so he can't interrupt. That was nice.
Yeah, it was a really clutch one from Relica. Pele played a lot more cautious this time after the ironclad shenanigans of the last one. Alexander going to roll back. Elitan comes through. They're going to look for Nick BR10. He gets the Cleric off. Can he do some damage? They insta-purge the Cleric. Huge pick there. They've got the cap as well to help with the bleed point. And now the world champs. What was their team name again?
Bengalas.
Bengalas. That was it.
28 seconds. I don't think they can turn it this time.
I don't think they're going to grab a cap here, no. And the Ironclad, they're playing right in front of the tent, which, as you see here with Amagini, kind of a risk. He does have the res pot. The Freezing Wind comes out to Kai for him, and down goes to the offensive Judy as well, but they can't hang around here as 5. Like, they can fight a 5v5 here. Oh, that was the ball agony assassinate. Really quick play onto Pele, and they just lost their healer again. I was going to say that they can't hang around there because they're behind on caps. But being behind on caps and a healer is probably worse. Zero's going to need an iframe here, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's trying to find an angle to get out of there, but Nick reading it perfectly. Elitan drops as well. Lucrative. This guy's a menace. If you do fall behind, he's so good at running you down, though. Because he's got crosscut, he's got chain slash, he's got ghost strike. He's got so many ways to close the gap.
What's the red team doing that's tilting it in their favor here?
Just finding those assassinations.
Yeah.
It's a lack of a disrespect for the damage of the combo.
Right.
So you've got one of the biggest damage openers in the entire game in the one-hand crossbow, and one of the dirtiest finishers in the game in terms of the Mortal Agony Death Givers. Those 2 things mean that a single positional mistake and you're dead. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in play, doesn't matter if you're in cloth, whatever, right? They have to recognize and respect that combo. Look for their openings. You just can't play as aggressive as you would like a lot of these times. Against a normal comp, you would pull back a lot later from the fight, right? Against this comp, you've got to pull back a lot earlier, especially if there's no defenses available. And another thing they need to do is put a huge focus on Lucrative. They need to make sure he's constantly under pressure so that he can't play how he wants. If he's able to just stand where he wants and be ready for the openings, he's going to be talking to Nick. He's going to know where the combos are landing, and he's going to know who's about to come into range for his execute.
Do you think the Elite Ant team doesn't have enough practice against Death Givers yet?
I just think they were playing disrespectfully against it. It's not
Right.
It's not the lack of practice. Most people will know how to play against Death Givers or any assassin build for that matter. It's just a lack of respect. Maybe because it's a while since they felt that full crossbow combo. Like,
It wasn't part of the meta last time around, so that's why I'm asking.
yeah. I mean, they know about the crossbow opener because the Cargera team used it for a while.
Right.
But it's very important to have those iframes available for the bombs. Like, don't be afraid to just straight up cleanse the Pierce. The other thing is the Elitan, honestly, right? Against the crossbow, he should be playing Cartwheel, in my opinion. I mean, I'm just a commentator for these GVGs, and he is the world championship winning tank, admittedly. But in my opinion, he should switch to cartwheel and interrupt every sunder. I think that would provide more value to his team than concussive blow.
Well, isn't that that'd be a departure from what he's been used to playing for quite a while now? So
Yeah, but cartwheel's still good.
sometimes, yeah, it's no, I agree that he should be doing it, but oftentimes when you're used to doing something and haven't had to go back to a different skill in a long time,
Yeah,
I
but
believe he was even a hammer tank when he started. So SOB isn't like something like he was never part of what I would consider that ironclad meta. Where
Oh, look at that. You called that Shozen, like they allow the top to go, but they back cap the right. Like Lucrative didn't want to take the fight, so he just ninja'd. And this is musical caps right now. Red though, they got this under control. Elitan and his boys, they're gonna have to put something on as quick as possible. But back to your original point there, I mean, I feel that you've got to be adaptive. If you want to beat everybody, you have to adapt. And letting a crossbow get a full sunder off every time he casts it is unacceptable, in my opinion. Like it's one of the strongest armor piercers in the game. There's the opening they needed though. They find the healer kill. Lucrative thinks about an assassination, but it's going to be a retreat now. Oh, they put Emagini in the tent. Is there a hurricane available? Not quite. Lucrative. He went for the execute as well, but Pele super quick there with the cap. And now caps go back to blue. Rack is going to begin the comeback. Should get a 3 off of this.
That's the wrong side of the caps, though.
I can see Emagini grabbing it. It doesn't matter because it's the easiest one to cap is the one in front of their base. And they're going to play here and just patrol. When the enemy team comes out, you may expect to see them draw a little bit towards the right so they can keep an eye on all 3. But if I'm red and I've got this points advantage right now, I'm going to be just harassing caps non-stop.
oh yeah, just constantly back capping, keeping it spread, making the
It just
opponent make
depends,
choices.
Like look at that damage onto Elitan. Like he's in execute range already. He's gonna get. He had to pop his that was their tank. That was their main tank, and he popped a res pot there. Right, and off the back of that, Relica's now low, and that's how painful Sunder was. Like his combo did about 1.5 bars, but everybody else's damage off the back of that Sunder was ramped up, and now Relica's gonna be in trouble. Elitan probably has to drop his rocks if he gets Sundered again. But that's
And he's
really
going to
nice
in
for
just a
Pele.
moment here.
Pele manages to stabilize. Nick gets pulled in. He's going to roll out. Elitan's getting pounded. It's like so much to dodge. The shards and the explosive bolts raining down 24/7. But they don't want to force the fight. They just want to play the kite game and start racking up those 20 ticks. Pele in a bit of bother. He's going to be isolated. The Mortal Agony's on deck. Lucrative looking for a target. Mortal Agony. Oh, nice roll. He hesitated for half a second to make Lucrative think that he didn't have it. And the first more deadly ghost strike went into the roll. So he iframed it. And that was, that was why Pele is one of the best right there. That was just such mind games. And Nick's going to die off the back of it. And the comeback is going to continue nicely here.
Well, they have very few points to work with here at 35.
No,
that can go away in a heartbeat.
That's why you gotta keep going. I mean, honestly, I'd be sending Nick to just back cap harass now, because anytime somebody tries to deny him, if he gets the bomb combo off, he's gonna take chunks out of. It'll be Zero or Emagini trying to deny his back caps, and both of them will get absolutely blasted. Alexander looking for something. Elitan's gonna go in there. Bogger's probably gonna interrupt this though. Oh, he's already cancelled though. He actually cancelled it preemptively. I don't think he was attacked there. I think he just was trying to bait them in. But at this point, you see 5 of them playing right in front of your tent. You can sneak along that top platform, right? Right on the south. You can sneak in and just avoid tent damage to get round there. So you are able to sort of stealthily back cap a little bit. Nick's in a bit of trouble. Does get his cleric off. Very quick purge though, and that's going to possibly be the end of him. Nope. Zibs tries to get it under control. Elitan hitting him with the concussive. No roll, no cleric available. Nick's in a horrible spot. He's on the heavy crossbow now as well. Interesting switch up. I don't like it. He's less tanky, but not the Aegis.
I agree. You want to be tanky in this situation.
He was getting really good value from the bomb as well. Like I would say heavy crossbow would be fine if he was playing against an ironclad. But the only thing he's going to get any value with the cancel is probably Imagini using Area of Decay. Nothing else. Nothing else is worth canceling, to be honest. I love this positioning, by the way. This platform is really nasty. Because they're going to waste your time if you go for the cap, because they're 100% going to swarm in. You can't stop all 5 of them from interrupting. And this is why they need to threaten, right? Nick just needs to mount up and run away. Like, run round. They're not winning the face fight, and now they got a 2-minute timer. That's a nice play onto Elitan. But he gets the Judy down just in time for the seed, which means he's back onto full HP. Gets his rocks off as well. Bogul needs to be careful. Pele, no man's land. They get the control onto Pele. Lucrative trying to finish him, but the Harpoon's going to miss. Relica trying to set something up there. Lucrative. And Lucrative just doesn't do anything. If there's nobody in execute range, he's just a very, very low DPS output. And he might even die. And this is the difference. Oh, that's the one. Relica's dead. Is that going to be enough, though? What are they going to find off the back of this? Maybe a single cap? They're going to get both? Who knows? It depends if they can kidnap anyone here. Bogul needs to kidnap, preferably the healer. Imagini would do, though. Elitan pops the Mystic Rocks to try and slow the advance. Then maybe change their attention to Elitan. He's looking for the
interrupt.
Yeah, he's going for the interrupt because he wants to win.
Yeah, I think that these guys were in good position here to take that 4v5, honestly. They all had a lot of health. They all had energy. They were in a good fallback position, and they knew that if the opponents want to make this an even match, the first thing they got to do is make it a 4v5.
Oh,
and that's what they're going to see here. They get it. Well done by Alexander, saying, hey, you remember me? I could have played with you guys.
Zero rolled in for the interrupt. It was really, really nice. But they swapped him straight out. Huge play there from Bogul. Really nice.
And they need it's the first step towards making this comeback, but they've got to get another one. And I think that the blue team just did a great job of falling back when it was 4v5. They did a very good job just keeping the
Lewpac is getting purged of his stacks right now. He's in a horrible spot. He had to use Ghost Strike defensively, which always feels bad. They got 60 seconds on the clock. Imagini is actually running the Mage Robe now. And another reason is this Death Givers, because you can purge his stacks with the Mage Robe. You can purge his Stalker Jacket with the Mage Robe. Bunch of reasons to be using it. I believe he actually loses his stealth buff as well if he hits you while he's in Ghost Shroud. Oh, they got Pele. 30-second brawl now. That's going to be a tight one. They just assassinated the healer. They might lose Nick in the meantime, but they have to dip for every single cap right now. And Imagini, Elitan and Imagini going to kill Alexander. Lucrave's looking for one. They're too chaotic, and they left it too late. Relica's got enough HP that he can contest top. They're looking for the right. They're not getting anything. Elitan's actually maybe going to kill Alexander here if he has stun run. Don't think he does. Nearly. They're able to hold on. What a comeback. Wow! No way! No way!
Did that? Oh, boy.
Gives him a little love tap at the end and finishes him.
No Zoom, Bogul. That was the last match of the day, and my internet has gone out 3 times. Sorry, I don't have Zoom.
Come on, Zoom, Bogul.
Yeah, you come on Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Just
that was a really
and say
good
goodbye.
that was really that was a champion's pedigree, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was really nice. I like that it's different. It takes me back to my GVG days, my no life days, shall I call it? Before I had all the children and none of the time.
We have some no-lifers in chat here. We have Aurelia and Derek going at it right now in chat. It's great to see both of them back.
Yeah,
we saw Lizzie Tank earlier. I'd love to see the return of that team. That would be a good thing to see.
Make a team with me.
Yeah.
Lewpac.
Bring back Mercia. We'll just call it.
We need to bang. We need to bang.
Back to Mercia.
Mercia days, yeah. I basically, like, I was the guy you called when you needed a 5th and you had no other option.
Well, Derek has already called you to his team right now. He said,
me, Derek, Zorab. Who else? Hey, I was solid.
hey, you were great on our level 1 team.
I remember I beat the Derek and Mojo team in Mercia with a guy called American Nick, who was a bit rowdy. Fast Nick,
Yeah.
my old Jerben, my old school team. Good times.
Well, I'm gonna pull a few raffles right now, and oh, this is just a Chris. I think I thought we had Crisis right here in chat, but no, it's Chris.
Chris, not Crisis.
No, it's close. All right, I just pulled
Oh,
a
thank
few
you.
names. I'm gonna pull a full 5 here. If your name has been pulled by the raffle, go ahead and whisper me to claim your prize.
I'd love to get an old school GVG team back together. That would be super fun. I do wish we had like. I'd love to see a pool of maps though. I hate to bang on about it, but I think like most GVGers would agree it would improve the experience.
Yeah.
I'm liking that this map plays different, and I'm liking that the fights aren't immediately over on the first 3 cap anymore. Like the other map needs a balancing pass before it comes back as well, because the 3 cap was just so strong on that. Like,
Well, I still think that the fix for the 3 cap is a 2-phase capping system, where yeah, the neutralize in 3.5 and then cap in 3.5 after neutral.
yeah, I agree. I think that could definitely help. Like, to just make it so it's just not so just punishing being 3 cap, because that's the whole thing. When it's one thing and an interrupt at the last second negates the previous 6 seconds of everything. So the good teams, you lose the fight by attempting to cap, because you've got 6 seconds of DPS downtime that the enemy doesn't have, and so they take momentum in the fight. But if you don't threaten the cap, they just kite you about and you slowly lose on points. It's so bad. I remember the mine map, Derek. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I might like base off of.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, here's the thing, Lewpac. You can tell the cap is too long because people will let you cap and wait for you to sit there capping it and then interrupt you at the end. That's how you can tell the cap is too long. If the cap is so long that they would let you sit there and try to take it just to waste your time. If 6 seconds is a waste of time, then it's too long to be for the cap. I mean, if it was 3.5 seconds, I'd never let anybody sit there for 3.5 seconds trying to neutralize.
No,
Like,
exactly.
There's no way I would take that chance that something could happen to me.
I
and I wouldn't be able to interrupt them.
Think about it in terms of how much damage a frost staff can do in 6 seconds, right? Compared to the other frost staff capping, not doing any damage. Like, even if you end up getting the cap, you're probably so far behind in the fight that you have to outplay them hard to stabilize. But it's moving in the right direction. Discussions are being had, and I definitely feel like the format will improve drastically this year.
I agree.
We have no more matches for tonight, though. That is the end of our Crystal Leagues. That was level 4, 5, and 6, which does mean next week we start to get to the big ones. Have some level 7s next week. Always fun.
It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Popping up, and we'll see. I mean, I'm liking seeing Ironclad there. I really like that performance, though. They went well behind to the point that many teams would never, ever get back into that match. And our champs showed why they're champs. I did not see, that being said, I did not see any, Sabertooth Rexes on the field, which I'm sad about.
I think we should be able to find out if they popped any of them. Before we go, though, we have a shout out that I've gotten a PM about because they're very concerned about this one. They want me to make sure I shout it out. Quick shout out to the German internet connection from Keeper of Nature there. He just wants to give a shout out to the German internet connection.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there just one internet connection in Germany and everybody shares it?
Everybody uses the same one, yeah.
Like North Korea.
God.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
It's my turn.
Not like North Korea.
Okay, it's nothing like North Korea. No, I've been to Germany. I love Germany. Right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. Congrats to our raffle winners, and thank you to all our GVG teams, as always, for taking part. Shozen has been in and out due to internet issues, but we got through the show anyway, and Bogul even stepped in with some pretty good game knowledge, Shozen. You'll be pleased to hear that he came in and talked about things that were happening in the match and was correct. So I was very proud of our boy. The dream team definitely helped him out. But that's going to be us from here on Albion TV. The boys will be back on your screens on Tuesday, I believe, is the next show.
Yep, we will be back on Tuesday at 18 UTC with the War Report, followed by a daily show where we will once again be joined by Robin Hood RS and Bogul. And then
Robin Hood RS.
Yep. He has joined us on the daily shows on Tuesday and Friday now as another co-host on that show to bring us a different perspective on the news. Then we will have our Tuesday 5v5 show with the great Tazik, who will be joining us at 20 UTC for some matches. And a quick reminder to all the NA players, you're going to be on a different schedule on Tuesday as the clocks do move forward on Sunday night.
Oh gosh, mine are going to change soonish as well, I think. I'll have to keep an eye on that, because then everything goes weird, because I was in sync with UTC, which was easy to keep track of. And then
Now it's not.
There's going to be an hour delay, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Right.
Yes, sir.
I will see you guys later on then. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We are Lewpac, Shozen, and Bogul. This was Albion TV. The boys will be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on your screens next Saturday. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, Albion, and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.